What's up, Joe 200? All right. So today is Sunday, September 8th, and it's a hot one. I thought it couldn't get any hotter than the last couple of days, but somehow today on Sunday it's outperforming itself. So there you go. So um, try and stay cool. I think one of the better places you can hang out is that brick oven called Pardee. All right. You can maybe even achieve 200 degrees Fahrenheit in your room in Pardee if you're lucky. All right. Okay. All right. Where are we? We're entering the third week, all right? Which means we have one more week for you to tell all your friends to take GERO 200, which is awesome. And I encourage you to tell them because the more the merrier. Is a very good life skills class. Shout out, of course, to the USC football team. They performed at a level that we kind of expect them to, all right? So they didn't outperform. They just did what business as usual. And annihilating Utah State. They obviously are in a completely different league. So very, very, very cool. And they're working hard, and we celebrate them all. All right, next. All right, we're going to week 3. Now, some of you guys are new to the class, not all of you, but some of you. If you're new to the class, the first thing you should do is just scroll down and take a look at your Brightspace page, okay? I'm going to go in here to my classes for fall, which is GERO 200 right here. All right, very cool. Now, when you get into your Brightspace page for GERO 200, you'll see all these announcements, okay? I post my weekly lecture right here, so that was week 1's lecture, okay? You'll find week 2's up there too somewhere, okay? And then also we give a lot of cheer. This was pretty awesome ahead of the football game right here, okay? We've got a great cinematic arts program. Why not? Shine, okay? So that's week 1 and that's week 2. Sorry, right there. That's a week 2 module, okay? Again, if you're new, you scroll all the way down. We have lots of upcoming events. Get familiar with the Brightspace page. It tells you when things are due right there, okay? This is how to navigate the course, so it's a quick video on doing that, so check that out. And then you can, of course, then couple that with downloading the syllabus either right here, or you can get the syllabus here in the table of contents. Visual table of contents on the right. We're going into week 3 today, all right? Or table of contents right up in here, all right? Pretty straightforward stuff. What's expected of you every week? Every week, okay, you do your one discussion, and you can do the quiz, which is on that particular week's videos and maybe short readings, assignments, and interactive activities, okay? All righty, so let's just go about the business at hand right here. I'm going to enter the table of contents right here, all right? And what you can see is, hey, guess what? I was checking out week 3 already. If you're not familiar with it, right here you see module 1, which is week 1, module 2, which is week 2, and module 3, which is week 3. You can tell I'm in it by this kind of blue-gray shading that you see right here. All right, awesome. That's where I'm at right here. We're gonna have this video that I'm making right now. It's going right in here. Okay, this is the assignment. You see the quiz right here. Again, you guys are welcome to work as a team on all this. No 2 quizzes are the same. There are questions are drawn from a pool of questions, okay? Awesome. And then this is the discussion that's relevant to what we're doing this week, all right? All righty, so, and I'll go over that at the very end. Why is it relevant? Okay, we're looking at different types of changes in society that reflect the cohorts of people, okay, the demographics that we define. I'm a baby boomer, okay? My parents were the great generation. Yeah, World War II era, which is amazing, okay? I have a couple of Gen Zers, okay? All that kind of stuff right there. And so we kind of look at these groups of people, and then we look at kind of sociological transitions and also make predictions about, hey, this is the way the business world is going to go. This is what we need to do in terms of social structure. This is what we need to do with politics, whatever it is, okay? So in order to be able to talk about these groups moving through the population, okay, with every year you just see them shifting, going from you guys are all 21, 22-year-olds, and next thing you know, we'll be looking at you and talking about you guys, you Gen Zers, when you're 30-year-olds, okay? And so being able to talk about it in that way allows us to then to make lots of really cool, business slash policy decisions, right? So that's what it's all about. And so we're going to talk about it, and in the discussion, we kind of hone in on something that's really important. That's housing, okay, and how each generation has experienced different types of affordability, okay, and certainly as a baby boomer, we're looking right here, these transitions. It was hard, but it wasn't as hard as it is on subsequent generations. Okay, this is no big surprise to you. And then we come down here, post a little graphic from California Association of Realtors right here, and they're looking at the affordability index. Okay, and what percent of the population can actually afford to buy the median, right in the middle price in the state of California. And you can see, excuse me. The median price is insanely high, okay, and only 17% are able to afford right now, and that's based on people that would be scraping by to afford this with a monthly mortgage, okay, that's how much you'd be paying to live in that house, of about $5,200 a month. You see right here, okay. That assumes that you put 20% down, okay, which again is mind-boggling when you think about it, okay. Alrighty, so yeah, this is understanding all these things are important when studying generations, okay. And then we come down here and we look at older generations in housing, and we see that there's this net movement right here, and we're looking at the number of retirement age households, okay, so these would be people 65 and over, okay, in millions of people. So we see this is raw numbers right here, and we categorize them. How many are going to be renters? How many are going to be owners with a mortgage, okay, and how many are going to be owners without a mortgage, okay? So you've blown through it, and we see that the owners without a mortgage is declining, okay. We see that on a percentile basis, more and more people are renting. So it's a cost burden, okay, and that's something to think about when we talk about our discussion, okay. All right, I'll get back into that later. Let's just go right into the reading assignment. We've gotten a lot of feedback from you guys already about weeks 1 and 2. We transitioned to a whole new format for weeks 1 and 2, and so I think from your guys' feedback, we're going to have to whittle things down a little bit. So yeah, don't worry about it, guys. When we were doing the questions in the quizzes, we always kind of directed you towards the figures, okay, and some of the verbiage or written material that supports the figures. I'm very visual, so that's why I did that in the slide deck. But I think we can do better. So that's what we're going to do for subsequent generations of GERO 200 students, okay? Now, what you'll see right here, we're looking at this module. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to open up my course. This is for an approach that you could do, right? So you could be sitting down here, a whole group of you in this Sigma Chi house, okay? And hey, let's just whack out these discussions, okay? And so this is what you're going to be doing, all right? So you're going to go in here. I'm going to go back into my table of contents, all right? And then I would, I'm going to go right in here to my reading quiz, and then I would, go ahead and open the quiz and check it out. Now, since I'm not a student, I can't visualize the quiz, okay? But you guys can, all right? And so, for me to actually visualize the quiz, what I got to do is got to go in here. I'm going to change it so I'm not a learner, okay? And all right. All right. There. Okay. I'm out. Okay, now I'm back to being John Walsh, okay? So now what I can do is I can go down here into the content, pretend I'm kind of like you guys, all right? I'm going to go in here to my generations. Okay, I'm going to go into the quiz. All right, and what I want to do is I want to see an actual quiz. Then I'd hit preview, okay? And I'd scroll down here, and I would hit start quiz. Okay, it's kind of like what you would do, but it's a little bit different. There it is, okay? So I would sit here and there's 5 questions, okay? I would just kind of look at the questions, okay? All right, what does it all mean here? All right, once I've read it over, then I'm gonna go in and check out the reading assignment. Okay, that's just one approach. Okay, so here's the reading assignment, okay, and what we have. This is pretty simple compared to the previous 2 weeks, okay? So we got to figure out how to describe each other when we're up there giving a talk, okay, in front of the Democratic National Convention, okay? We got to figure out how to describe each other when we're sitting at a big board meeting and we're working for Google and we're saying, hey, you know, we got to do a better job of targeting this age group, okay? So that's what this is all about. So the first task at hand is, okay, we got to define everybody. So these articles, okay, are really cool in describing how to define everybody, okay. But they are getting a little dated, so we're going to have to come up with some new ones and for subsequent GERO 200 students, okay? The next gen of GERO 200, okay? What we always do, I always like to provide the URL, the link, okay, to that, the actual articles in the internet, in the World Wide Web, but as backup, we also have a PDF file, all right? So that's what this is right here, okay? So we're just gonna go straight into the article right here and talks about defining generations, okay? And you know where millennials and Gen Z begins, okay? And so this is all on the shoulders of previous analysts, okay, that look at these groups or aggregates of population that are kind of moving through society every single year as an age group, okay? And they're a collection that have similar kind of biographies, all right? So they've had similar experiences. You know, obviously mine, I'm pretty easy. I'm a baby boomer and I'm a child of a World War II veteran, okay? We're gonna look at millennials, okay? And they were another group, okay, that were the children of the baby boomers, okay? You know, on average, okay? So I do have a son who was born in 2001, so he's already kind of past that, all right? So yeah, this article is really cool. It's real simple. You see that, and it talks about, okay, the discussion that went on, and over the years when your generation was being defined, Gen Z really kind of came out. Okay, the subsequent generation is called Gen Alpha, and so we're kind of starting over again. All right, this is the definition of each age group. Okay, so we see here born 1997, 2012. Okay, alrighty, and we see that's your age group. Okay. Subsequent to that, okay, that's going to be the Gen Alphas. And then here's all the aggregates of the other generations that have been made. My parents, myself, it could be a brother, a sister, okay. My kids I should have had, okay, there you go, alrighty. And I actually had one here that is this age group and born in 95, okay. Awesome. So you can kind of show some curiosity, and this kind of shows you again, looking at these trends, the hows and whys of generation research, exactly why are we doing this, and it kind of shows you these. You can see this aggregate of the population that you can see numbers wise are kind of grouped together. So this is all my parents, etc. Well, and this is after World War II, the big reproductive bulge, okay, and then a slide in reproduction, and then you see, but right here reproduction took off again because these right here are the children of these guys. I'm super late to the game. First child when I was 39, second child when I was 45. Okay, and that's why I have one child that barely fits into here right here, and then I have a Gen Zer as well. All right. So it goes into again here, why we're going to do this. Okay, why would you even want to look at generations, and it, if again out of your curiosity, it explains what's going on. Okay, all right, cool. Again, it has really cool business and political aspects to it when you're thinking about it. All right, so that's part one. All right, I'm going to get rid of my quiz right here. Okay, was that question in here? Okay, all right, it could have been. Okay, all right, I'm out of here. All right, next part. Okay, so we've defined the generations. Okay, in the second article right here, this is the URL. Okay, once we've looked at it, let's look at their a little bit of a difference in their experiences. Okay, let's check that out. Okay, again, the PDF files right there again as well. So here's some trends that were shaping the populations. Okay, so I was talking about housing. Okay, this has continued to go up. Okay, why? Because housing affordability continues to go down. So we see this this change in multi-generational households. What else are we seeing happening through here? Think about it. A lot of you, both your parents had to work. Okay, so it was actually kind of cool to have maybe grandma or grandpa around. Okay, to help in terms of the caregiving that was supporting you. Okay, and then well, what goes around comes around. It's much if you're limited in finances, it's much easier to have your parents living in the same household with you when they get older. No, it's a burden. Okay, there's no doubt about that. But anyways, this is a trend that's happening, and it has to do with changes in the economy and the affordability. All right, awesome. What else do we see when we start looking at different generations? Okay, we see this decrease in the likelihood that people are getting married. Okay, and this has gone down and down and down and down. Okay. Um, we see an increase in immigration. Okay, so this is all just, when you're a demographer, this is the kind of things that you're going to be looking at. Awesome. Okay, I told you this week was easier. All right, now this one right here is just really, really fun. Okay, and what I like about this one is it's kind of interactive. Okay, and so we go in here and we're going to look at this, and we're going to look at the experiences of each generation and how they compare. Okay. So there's some verbiage here for you. Like I said, I'm very visual, so I like checking this out, okay? So we can look right here. This is what's being highlighted. So this is race and ethnicity, marital status, male education, female education. All right, so we can come back up here, race and ethnicity. All right, so when this sample was done, so this is in 2017. When was the article published, okay? The article was published in 2018. So you gather the data, you write it up, and then you publish it. Okay, so this is actually a pretty rapid turnaround. Okay, so we're looking at these guys who at this point in time, the millennials, okay, are ages 21 to 36, okay, and in 2017, this was the makeup of the population based on race, okay. All right, we see in 2017, okay, we see that there is, again, at the same epoch in time, a lot more white older Americans than there are other types of defined ethnic groups, okay? All right, so you can look at this, and then how about if we look, so 21 to 36, let's look at each of these guys when they were 21 to 36. So how did these age groups, these guys right here, when they were growing up, stack up? So let's check that out, okay? All righty, so back then, okay, see boomers, okay, when they were 21 to 36, okay, again, the makeup of society was dominated by white people. Okay, awesome. Okay, let's look at something a little different. Okay, let's take a look at education. Okay, we can look at male. Let's go back to 2017. This is the here and now. Okay, how about actually marital status? We might as well work our way down right here. Okay, so right here. So this is almost, you guys, Gen Zs, you'll be even less than this, okay? So during this window, almost 60% never been married, 21 to 36, okay? All righty. What do we see down here? We're going to see a lot of widowed people in my parents' generation, okay? It is what it is. A lot of widowed people right here in baby boomers, okay? Separated divorce, you're going to see more of that right here, okay? Not as people getting married, as you can see that right there, okay? It's a pretty substantial number of us are married. All right, so let's compare this 37%. What was it like for my age group, okay, when we were 21 to 36, when they were younger, for marital status? You go right here and look at that, all right? So you see that we way outpaced the millennials and totally outpaced you guys. Gen Z, it would be even tinier, all right? So that's how you go through and you look at this, okay? We could look at something I think, totally interesting, okay? Female education, all righty. So do you have some college, okay? Do you have a full-on bachelor's degree, okay? As a woman, it was much less likely, okay, for my parents' generation, my generation, the generation after me, which would be like a younger brother, okay, and then so this would be the first clique of our children, okay. So we see more and more and more bachelor's degrees. Now, what's really interesting, again, you can get these, degrees later in life through here. Let's check out, say, my generation in terms of female education. Okay, let's check out my generation when they were younger, when they were at the age of the millennials. So we're gonna want to check it out here. Okay, remember, 36% are college educated here. Let's see what my generation. When we're the same age as the millennials were in this study, all right? 20%. So you see that about half of women were college educated compared to we were in this group. And again, we could look right here, and we can just do what percentage of Gen Z women, are college educated. Boom. See if it comes up to something here. Almost 60%. Right? Thank you, AI. All right, so there you go. All right, so we can go back and we can check this out. So we can see that it's way past this. From 36 to your older brother and sister to approaching 6%. So great change for women. Okay, how does that translate? That translates into 2017 females in the workforce. Okay. So obviously people are not going to be in the workforce because these guys are for most part retired, except for a select few, all right? We see right here, there's a lot of potential retired women here as well, okay? Let's take a look here. So the millennials, okay, majority of women are working. Let's take a look at this baby boomers when they were the millennial age for workforce. Okay, so still lagging. So females were lagging in previous generations, and it's gotten more and more women in the workforce. Okay, more and more women are independently pursuing careers because they want to, and because of things like housing affordability, more and more women have to go into the workforce in order to be able to afford how to live. Okay, well, let's take a look at this. Okay, all right, Gen Z are in the workforce. See if AI has anything. Okay, 78%. All right, so that's what it says here. All right, that doesn't help. All right, gotta understand. A lot of you guys are still. We're not going to can't equate this because why? Because you're still still in college. Okay, here's the bottom line trends going from my parents, me, okay, my older brother, my kids potentially, and we're looking at men and women who are educated, okay, more educated. Let's say we'll just say college educated, okay, and we see that the education level has gone up for every generation, okay. More opportunity to go to college, more as part of society stressing the need to stay in school and get your degree, okay? And look at the much greater, you see the steps are bigger and bigger for women, okay? Did you know more women get admitted to medical school than men do? Absolutely, okay? It's after that opportunities tend to fade, all right? Awesome, all right, so here's the age groups are defining everybody, okay? We don't have the Gen Zers in there, but you guys come after this, okay? Yeah, so it's really cool stuff to work with. That's how you kind of define what's going on in the world, so now you can make better policy statements, okay? All right, so we see all these transitions. Let's go back to, click right here, Gen 3, Module 3 here. Okay, so then we come down here and then we kind of apply it to a real life situation, right? So this is looking at, like I said, the problem in shrinking home ownership, okay? And this is because a lot of outside factors push up housing prices. If you're a wealthy person from Belgium, why not invest your money in U.S. housing, all right? Because housing just goes up and up and up and up. So it's a really great form of investment. And that's what's happened. We've had a lot of global investments in housing, so it artificially drives up home prices, okay? That's just one factor, okay? We got a lot more people, okay? and we have not enough housing, and so that competition drives up housing prices. So all of these factors come together, making it less and less approachable for each generation, which is really, really kind of a bummer. And that's what that's all about. So you do check out this article right here, and if you get it, if you can, sometimes you need a subscription. If so, don't worry about it. Just rely on this figure right here. Okay, awesome. Okay, and then this taps into what I was talking about. Okay, so the rule of thumb, is that you should at max in terms of what house you can afford. Okay, the rule of thumb is 3 times. Okay, so that is the absolute max. So that would be, let's say this is your job making almost $210,000 a year. All right, so you would be able to afford this median house barely. Okay. The cost of all your housing issues should be about 28% of your income. So we see that's $624,000. Wait a minute, that's 814. The assumption is the rest of it is going to be your down payment. Okay, it's pretty wild to think about it. So obviously, dual incomes are what's going to be needed, and we all know that the median house is not necessarily going to be your dream home. It's going to be your entry level home, which is crazy to think of. So you can see that you're going to be able, in California, really to afford something like this. You're going to need 2 incomes, and you're going to be needing to approach 500 grand a year. So that's a generational thing. That's really difficult. Okay, so this is a 2019 just all-encompassing study about housing put out by Harvard. Check it out if this is your thing. We get a lot of real estate development people in this class. This is a really cool perspective, making projections, and a lot of things we have to think about. Again, like I said, when we look at the cost burden, is stuff like multi-gen housing. Okay, so this is your discussion. This is what what are you going to do? Okay, or in terms of your parents. So we're looking at right here, 2018, 2028, right around the corner, and 2038. And this is the number of older people projected to be living alone in our country. Okay, and you see it goes up and up and up, and that becomes a difficult situation for that older person in terms of life management. Okay, so this is what we want you to do. We want you to kind of go through this. Okay, we want you to talk about this. Okay, I want you to comment your discussion about your generation and housing. Okay, multi-gen housing, that kind of stuff. All right, awesome. So I think we're done here. Okay, you got to keep your eyes on the prize. It is what it is. What's right around the corner? Certainly you can check out the syllabus. The syllabus can be looked at right here, and it can also be looked at right there. The reason you're always looking at the syllabus is, and we're going to be sending out reminders. They're part of the framework of Brightspace. Okay, and then we'll send out emails as well, because you do have stuff that's coming down the pike that is important. Okay, here it is. This is your first writing assignment. Okay, and you're going to be comparing generations. Okay, you're going to be comparing different countries, this global aspect of what's going on in terms of the dependency ratio, and then the first part is just looking at life expectancy. Okay, we'll get into that later on. I'm going to create a video that shows you how to do it, so don't worry about it. But I just want you to make sure that you keep this on your radar. All right, guys. Peace. You guys are doing great, and fight on. We'll see you next time.